Fit like YouTube, welcome back to another episode. Okay, this episode's all about the rock that I'm going to be using on my new build. So, in my quarantine tank for the past 6 months to a year, I've got a combination of Carib Sea Moani rock and Marco rocks. Both are earth mined rock, so it's got no impact on the reefs or anything, but it is quite dense, it is quite heavy. And I did originally plan on using just this rock alone in my new build and purchasing lots of it. However, I have managed to purchase something even better in my opinion. So in these boxes we have some Fiji live rock. Obviously it's not live anymore, but this will be what I'm going to use in my new build. Back in the day, a lot of reefers will remember Fiji live rock and how good it used to be. I used to get I preferred Fiji live rock as opposed to the Indonesian live rock. Fiji was by far my favourite. So when I spotted this available on eBay, I pretty much snapped it up straight away. I picked up 70 kilos, so I got 3 boxes and I'm really happy with what I've got. A lot of nice shapes, and I am fairly confident I'm going to be able to build a really nice aquascape with this rock. Now a lot of you might be looking at this and thinking, holy cow, that is a lot of rock, and yes it is, but I am not planning on doing a negative space aquascape or a minimalist aquascape. Instead I'm going to go the old school, and I'm wanting lots of caves, lots of swim throughs, and just a lot of rock in my aquarium basically. So absolutely loving this, the shapes, and it's just amazing. Everything is amazing. I am over the moon. There's still a lot of life still remaining on this rock, so it's going to take a bit of curing to get it all clean and ready, but like I said, I'm in no rush, so it'll take as long as it takes. Some of these pieces, I mean like this piece for example, I think it's like 4 or 5 kilos, but it's just awesome. And the creative juices are flowing, as you would say, and I'm just trying to imagine all kinds of things that I'm going to do aquascaping wise. But this rock, it's just, in my opinion, far superior to any earth mined rock. Now I could have also used the likes of the man-made stuff like JDReef, but to tell you the truth, I can't stand that stuff. Absolutely hate it. And I can't stand rocks that are being painted pink or purple or whatever. I just think it looks crap. Alright, you put it in and it gives the effect that you've got coralline straight away, but to me it's just garbage. I don't like it. I'd rather hate natural stone that's in my, natural rock that's in my aquarium. Marco rocks was fine, I used it on my dead man's chest. But for this build, nah, I just didn't want it. I'll use what I've got in the quarantine tank as base rock if needed, if I don't have enough of this rock. So here's the boulders. Right, I got 3 boulders in one of the boxes, and that's always the risk you take when you buy rock, that you don't know what you're going to get basically, if you're not hand picking it out of your LFS. So that 3 boulders all together come to around about 5 kilos. So all together, taking that out, I've got 65 kilos of rock, Fiji rock, and this stuff's all really nice. Like I said, heaps of different shapes and possibilities that I can use, and I'm bound to create something amazing. And this one piece alone, this could be like an island by itself. It's absolutely massive, weighs 7 kilos, nice little swim through. So I'm definitely not going to smash that up or anything. I'm going to try and keep that as it is, because I think it looks stunning. So that's all the rock that I've got so far. So next up, I'm just going to have to go and start the curing process. Right, so I stuck all the rock into my blue barrel just to make sure it would all fit in here. Next up, I left it for a week soaking in this RO water. I've now removed it from the RO water and just having a look at everything I've got. So you can see there is a fair amount when you see it like this. And it's quite possibly too much for my size aquarium that I'm getting, but we'll see. I'm hoping that by the time I glue it all together and stuff, it's not going to be as much as I thought. One thing with my new aquascape is I don't plan on putting it as high as I did with Dead Man's Chest. I'm going to try and keep it a bit lower so that the fish have got way more room to swim about. Now, looking at this rock, you can still see a lot of life still on the rock. Like there's some algae there, there's some algae here that's kind of dying off after the RO soaking. And in the middle there's still some more macroalgae, but so I think it's definitely time to try a different cure. I was going to do a natural cure, but I've decided to do something else instead. The bleach cure. Now the bleach cure takes roughly 7 to 14 days depending on how much stuff you've got on your rocks to get rid of. But obviously before you do any of that, I'm just making sure I've got gloves, eye protection and a mask. I'm outdoors, so I'm not concerned about the vapours or nothing. It's just that I want nothing splashing into my mouth. So I'm just going to add it to the RO water that was already in here. I'm mixing the bleach ratio. I'm mixing 600 to 700 mils of bleach for every 10 litres of RO water. This should be strong enough to kill everything that's on the rock and get it all nicely cured. I'm going to use tongs to drop the pieces down to the bottom to reduce the risk of splashing. But this first piece, like I said, it weighs 7 or 8 kilos, so it's really heavy. I'm just going to use my hand and get it as low as I can and then just drop it. Hopefully it doesn't break. There we go. Now, just for speed, I'm editing the video and obviously didn't want to bore you more than you're already bored already probably just watching a video about rocks. So I've speeded this up a little bit just to make this video a little shorter and make it as short as I possibly can. So like I said, this process with this rock going in here is going to take about a week. I'll then check to see how clean the rock is. I suspect with the amount of life that's on this rock, I'm going to need to do this a second time as well. In which case I'll drain off all this water, refill it with fresh RO water, add more bleach and then leave it for a further 7 days and see how that goes. Hopefully once all that's done, it should be ready nice and clean, and I will just rinse it off in RO water and then leave it out during the day. Hopefully we'll get some sunshine in Scotland. Don't know, hold your breath, but we might. The fresh air will just, all the bleach, if any bleach is left on the rock, it will just evaporate out. And by the time that I get my new tank, which by the way I've decided is going to be a water box. I did think about the water box, what's it called, LX or Pro Max or something. I think in America it's called Pro Max, but I think in Britain it's called like the LX. But I've decided against that because it's really expensive. It's like nearly £4,600. There's no way I'm paying that for a tank. My wife would kill me. And it just basically, the difference is that the tank's a lot wider, and with my living room being as small as it is, I don't really want to encroach too much width into my living room. So I'm definitely going to go for the 180.5. That seems to be a happy medium, and I think it'll fit nicely against the wall that the black pearl was on. So just removing that piece of algae there. But yeah, I think that's the plan. So really glad that I found this rock, and I'm sure any of you experienced reefers out there will remember the good old days of Fiji live rock and how good it was. So hopefully this stuff's going to be worth its weight in gold when it's in the new tank. Aquascaping wise, I'm going old school. I'm going to have, well, you can tell by how much rock I've got that I'm going to be having quite a lot of rock in the tank. I'm just kind of bored of this whole negative space aquascape, and I was kind of doing all that years ago and my islands and stuff, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of fed up with it now. It's just too popular and it's kind of boring, so I'm going to go more the natural way and have tons of caves and openings and swim throughs, and yeah, so I'm sure this rock's going to help accommodate with that. So just getting in the last few pieces and then we'll get the lid on, and that's going to be it. So that's pretty much it for this episode. If you've managed to make it through to the end, give me a hell yeah in the comments. I bet you have. These probably switched off ages ago because it's boring, but I wanted to just document this process and the rocks just for the new sake of a video diary for myself and seeing what the rock was like at the start. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Happy reefing, guys and girls. Till the next one. Bye bye.